Hello, this is Earth Angel Kathy. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to tell you the last part of the Dark Night of the Soul adventure. It was truly an adventure. I left off where I was discussing my last night's stay at a hotel where I knew that things was about to change. I felt it because God had said clean slate to me, and I discussed it in the last video. And I was emotional about that, and was happy. I held on to that. I held on to it. Clean slate. So when I went into this hotel room and it was huge and sunny, it just felt like something was different. Something was about to happen. I wasn't sure what. But I was happy with this room. I gave God the glory, and I was praising God and thanking God. I felt like I was in God's sweet spot, and that's what I called it, God's sweet spot. And so I took a shower in this nice bathroom and went to bed at this huge queen. It felt like a king-size bed, and I slept like a baby for the first time in a while. Not just from exhaustion, but simply because it felt right. So the next day I woke up, took a shower, left the hotel, and my friend came to pick me up, and he said to me, "You can't keep doing this. You can't afford to keep doing this. Staying at hotels." And he said, "You have to get a place." And I knew that that was near impossible because I left the last place without completing the lease. So he said that he would co-sign for me, and that's what happened. And so we went looking for a place with free rent, 1 month's free rent. And so we found a place, and I was so happy. It was a beautiful apartment, hardwood floors, washer dryer in the unit, and marble, or rather granite countertops. They had an island. It was a 1-bedroom apartment, and it was just really, really nice. And I just gave God the glory for that because it was really, really nice. And it was in a community where I could communicate with other people around me, and so I found that refreshing. So he said he had come up with this program, certified private money broker program, and he said, "Okay, so you're going to do this to earn money to pay the rent." And I was like, "Okay, I'll try anything." And so I set up this program, and you had to make quite a few calls every day. It was part of the program. And so I set it up, and that's what I went about doing, making calls and talking to people. And it was where, it was for real estate investors, to them looking for money from private money brokers. And I was trying this and not getting any hits, and I couldn't figure out why. So I contacted the company that was responsible for the program, and we talked about branding, and only to discover that the business was branded wrong. I just could not believe it. It was branded wrong. I was branding it as a broker instead of as the actual lender. So there was no money to rebrand. So I was very discouraged because the people that you contact, they didn't want to pay a middleman, and that's what I was, a middleman. I was bringing the client to the lender, which made me a broker. But that's what the information said. And when ran the name by the people who created the program, they let him to believe that was okay, the name of the business. So unfortunately, I could not get any hits on this. Now, although I was ecstatic and happy, about the transition to the new place, I still did not have any drive. I did to move about, to get it. I wasn't myself. I still wasn't myself. I wasn't nowhere near as bad as I was. But I didn't have the drive to get out in the world and make things happen. It was enough for me to get up every day and try this program because I knew I had to. And nothing was happening. I wasn't getting any hits, and but kept persevering, kept trying and trying and trying. Even though I was acting as a broker, I just figured I would come across some real estate investors that were in dire need of financing, and that they were willing to pay that broker fee. No, I don't care how dire they were. They did not want to pay. They wanted a private money broker without the middleman. And so that didn't work out. And so my friend said, look, this, you're going to have to do something because I can't pay this. So you're going to have to do something. He came in and he said, you have to do something. You have to fix you, basically. You have to get moving. So the new lease came up, and they increased the rent, and it made it way too expensive. So I contact a retail establishment and put in a phone application, which was nice because I didn't have to go to the company to complete an application. I did everything online, and I set up an interview, and I moved out of that apartment and moved into another apartment, a more affordable apartment, ended up being a studio apartment. And studio apartment. And so what was good about that was that the bus was right outside the apartment complex that goes directly to the place of business that I was going to go to begin to work. And they hired me. I believe they hired me. No, I went in for an interview, and I was hired the same day and did some training the same day, and that's basically the end of my Dark Night of the Soul journey. Things were starting to look up. And that was 2017. I was still not myself. I was still, I would say broken, but I had hope. I persevered. That's the key word in life. No matter what, keep going. But what I would come to know is I was never alone. God and my spiritual guides and spiritual ancestors, they were all with me during this time. And I truly believe that's why it doesn't sting the way that it could. Because sometimes it's almost as if it never happened. Unless I have to talk about it or somebody brings it up, I don't reminisce on it. I was so grateful to get through it. And then from in 2018, things were happening great. God was blessing me because I got increased finances in the position, the retail position, way faster than anyone else that had worked there in that department. And I was promoted also. And so when 2019 came, I'm just going to close this out, but when 2019 came, we were at the end of 2019, I think there were rumors of something going on in the earth with this pandemic, but there was no real talk about it, but it was rumors about something going on. So I became celibate at the end of 2019, and March 2020, the pandemic had begun, and they started closing stores and things, and that isolation from the pandemic is what changed my life. It's almost as if I could see the steps happening now that I look back on it. But God was in control of the entire situation. And 2020, I went into isolation. And like I said, it changed my life. It truly changed my life. So that's where I'm going to end this. It's short and sweet. And I know to some of you all, you probably don't think, well, it wasn't harrowing. No. When you're homeless, I was fortunate to have somebody that cared, but nonetheless, it was trying. Persevering through adversity is trying. Your life is put on hold, and for 10 years. It's just astonishing to me. But like I said, I had some help in that. There were people doing black magic on me to keep me stuck. But I persevered. I kept going until I got all the way up in love with God, which I have always been, all the way up in love with myself. It changed everything. It changed everything. All the way up in love with humanity. No matter what they did or do, love them anyway. Because once you get up, you have to stay up. You have to stay up. They decided what didn't stare at me. You have to stay up because low vibrational people will try to knock. Look, it's light and darkness. Good over evil. This is the world we're living in. There is no Switzerland in spiritual warfare. This is what's happening in the earth, spiritual warfare. And we have to open up our eyes and wake up to this fact. And you have to choose, and if you haven't chosen, you did choose, because it's happening. And you have to get all the way up. You have to get all the way up, because this is what changes things. This is what will change things, because the battle is God's. The victory is ours. But you got to get all the way up. For God to fight that battle for you, you have to get up. For God to fight that battle for your family, you have to get up. You just have to get up, because He loves you, and you're His special possession, and He wants to protect you. But you have to do your part in this thing. You have to do your part. We have to do our part. We have to get up. Love is love. Love is the greatest thing on earth. Who doesn't want love? It's simple. Just love yourself. Love God, love yourself, love humanity. And it will take care of itself. This man's inhumanity to man that's causing the friction in the earth. Low vibrational people are coming after you, whether you want them to or not, because you encounter them all the time. And you might think, I'm not talking about just excuse me, physical. Physically, I'm talking about identity theft, fraud, your bank accounts, anything, because they take, they don't create. And once they find out what you have, they'll come in to take it. But with God, you have protection for your life, because they use black magic to take your life. And with God, they will not be able to take that. So get all the way up, all the way up. Nothing can stop you if you get all the way up. Love yourself and each other. God loves you, so do I. Have a blessed day.